What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
Bright and early on a Saturday morning, 7 o'clock, man. Turn your radios up. It's 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Everybody on the East already up, and out on the West Coast, they just still trying to figure out what happened last night. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. My man Mike on the board, holding it down, making sure everything flows and sounds and look good. And he's the first person when you call in, you're going to talk to Mike. He's going to say, what's up with you? Now, Jaguar Journal. And so good morning to everybody, man. Good morning to all our Facebook watchers, man. Good to have you guys on there. Hit that subscribe button. Once again, I tell you every week, costs nothing to hit that subscribe button because it is free, and it is free, and it is free. Good morning to everybody watching on our Facebook Live. Good to have you guys hit that like and follow button as well, man. Look. Warmer week than it was last week, right? Hold on. Oh, see, I forgot something. That's why I got Mike. Be sure to follow us as well as on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You already know we're on YouTube at the Jaguar Journal on all three of those. And then continuously follow us on social media on X and Instagram. It's at the Jaguar Journal _. Just simply Jaguar Journal _. And then on Facebook, of course, the Jaguar Journal. Let me go back over those again. You can follow us and listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as YouTube. For everybody out there listening, at the Jaguar Journal. On social media, you can follow us and find us on X and Instagram, Jaguar Journal _ and on Facebook, Jaguar Journal. Follow our link tree for all our social media outlets in the description on all of our platforms. So my man Mike has got us set up. We ready to go. Hey, if you can't find us on YouTube, go find us on Facebook. You can't find us on Facebook, go to Spotify. Is Spotify too much for you? Go to Apple Podcasts, man. The Jaguar Journal is literally everywhere. And then if you just want to keep up with the short stuff, X and Instagram and Facebook, we would love to have you guys. Cost nothing for you guys just to keep up with us as we give you the latest news, not only at Southern University, but around the SWAC. And I'm going to start around the NFL because guess what? Did your team win? Are you excited about the upcoming Super Bowl down in New Orleans? Let's go back and look at it. Last week, the Commanders of Washington took on the Eagles of Philadelphia, 55-23. Jaden Daniels, Baton Rouge community knows him well. Heisman Trophy winner. Phenomenal rookie this year and what he's done to be able to lead the Commanders this far. We're talking about all the way to the NFC Championship. This far. But he ran up on that bad man, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts sat down and was like, hey, is this what y'all want to see? Is this what y'all want? Are y'all not entertained? To think a quarterback that people said should have transitioned to running back or wide receiver is once again leading his team to a Super Bowl appearance. And right now the Eagles look good. 55 points put up. Running the ball, the way that they run the ball. I've heard the legends of saying, you know, they have those urban legends. They said Saquon Barkley's thighs, just one thigh is the size of a tree trunk. You know, if y'all ever cut down a tree before, I'm talking about a fully grown tree. Not the one George Washington chopped down. I think he chopped down a little cherry tree. I'm talking about an oak. A pine tree. Okay? But nonetheless, man, the Eagles get the victory, 55-23. They will head to the Super Bowl as your NFC champions. And then on the other side, here comes the hate. Hate. I know the Kansas City Chiefs are once again in the Super Bowl. I like it. Look, it shouldn't come as no surprise to anybody how long I've been riding with Kansas City. Am I a Kansas City bandwagon fan? I have over and over and over told you guys, yes, I am. My best friend lives in Kansas City, Overland Park, Kansas, to be exact, right outside Kansas City, K. But for years, because of him, I've rocked the Kansas City Chiefs. You know why? Every time I go, they send me back with something, a hoodie or something. I'm ready to rock the hoodie now as Kansas City beat Josh Allen and the Bills. Now, I was a little salty with Josh Allen. I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. Anybody that knows me know Michael Vick is my favorite all-time football player. Yep. So, my growing up experience was the Michael Vick experience. From Virginia Tech to Atlanta. Number 7. Oh, man, listen. And I grew up in the Madden era. I don't know if y'all know about playing Madden with Michael Vick as your quarterback. Just roll him out and run. In those days, the linebackers were slow. The DNs couldn't catch nothing. And Vic, we just roll him out. The game programming wasn't even set during those times to even remotely even have them looking at that as a play. It was a cheat code every time. You have to drop the safety down just to be able to make the tackle by the time Vic take off. But that was me growing up. So Michael Vick, my favorite all-time player. But Lamar Jackson, knocking at the door. He's knocking at the door. Y'all hear him knocking? He knocking at the door. I love a good dual-threat quarterback. I don't like a guy sit back there with cement. Those days of the Peyton Mannings and the Tom Brady's, the drop-back, step-back quarterback, is over with. Look at every team that made it to the NFC and the AFC championship. Even Josh Allen had to have wheels. You have to have a mobile dual-threat quarterback in this ever-changing game of NFL football, in this ever-changing game of football. That's where we at now. A quarterback has to have the ability to run the ball. Mahomes is sneaky fast. It's like you don't realize he'll take off, then he pump fake. His pump fake is deadly. You think right when he's finna pump it, and he takes off and picks up another 20 yards sneakily. Josh Allen is just a big frame guy. Just a big frame guy who is mobile, can be elusive, and has a stride. Once he gets into stride, good luck. You look at Jalen Hurts, you look at Jaden Daniels. Mobile quarterbacks. That's the name of the game these days. Surprise, the NFL has transitioned. Now I get it. Yeah, Brock Purdy isn't the most mobile guy for San Francisco, right? But hell, look at all the pieces around him. And I just brought up San Francisco because I know there's some 49er fans out there. Our quarterback in that mobile, we made it to the Super Bowl. Sure. Where you at this year? Chiefs get the victory 32-29 over the Bills, man. Hell of a game. Between these two organizations, it always turns out to be something memorable. Y'all remember that overtime win a couple years ago when Kansas City came back? Do y'all remember that? Patrick Mahomes took the team down the field in, 15 seconds? Took it into overtime and won that thing. He's a bad guy, going for an opportunity of a three-peat. Since he's been in the NFL, he's either only been to an AFC championship or to Super Bowls. How superb is that? Absolutely superb. And the guy isn't even 30 years old yet. Has an opportunity to go back to back to back, have an opportunity to have a three-peat. If that isn't a dynasty, I don't know what is. As the Kansas City Chiefs continue to roll, Josh Allen, unfortunately, I'm sorry, brother. You're going to have to get out the AFC if you want to get to the Super Bowl. As long as Patrick Mahomes is there, I'm sorry, buddy. And now you know what I like about Patrick Mahomes before we go to break? He makes football look fun. I know they talk about the refs save him and do all of that, but I love that unorthodox quarterback play. The underhand, the undertoss throws, the behind the back, between the leg. He just does stuff to make the game look like, dang, that look fun. It don't look complicated because it looks like he's having fun with it. He brings an added element to the position of quarterback that we didn't think we would ever see. So for the Super Bowl in New Orleans, you have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, in which I think should be one hell of a game, guys. So, hey, let's get ready to take a break, man. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help, only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8. The deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard. 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, we are back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Glad to have you guys with us. The 7 o'clock hour as we keep things rocking and rolling. Of course, I am Perry White. Good to have you guys with us. Good morning to everybody listening on 107.3 FM here on Talk Radio across the capital city, Baton Rouge area, and everybody out there listening on watching on our social media, on Facebook, and as well as on our YouTube channel. Good morning. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that follow. And that follow and like button, too. Good to have you guys with us. Very special guest here on the show this morning. He's no stranger. My man, leading the way as the assistant band director over at Southern University, my man, Safi Raouf. Good morning.
Good morning and greetings from warm and sunny Los Angeles, California.
Hey, man.
How we doing today, Mr. Perry?
Good, man. Good. How you doing?
All is well. Just getting ready for the show that we have today. Working, that's about it.
Man, you always a hard worker, man. Southern University Marching Band today will be performing at the Honda Battle of the Bands. Other bands that will be in the mix, as they say, is going to be the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff up my way, my neck of the woods. Both the Alabama schools, Alabama State, Alabama A&M. How about North Carolina A&T, Hampton? And then Southern University, of course, we saved the best for last. But, getting in preparation, man, first I got to ask you, getting the band prepared for such a huge event. You're talking about travel and everything else. But taking the Southern University brand and the HBCU brand and taking it out to the west coast of Los Angeles, California, man, how huge is that when you're talking about marketing, branding, as well as trying to go out and recruit some students?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Perry. The West Coast is really untapped territory where I know we're trying to get HBCU out there with either Huston Tillotson, but HBCU culture is not big on the West Coast. So just to bring the Southern University brand, the Human Jukebox, very excited to see what we could tap into out there.
Yeah, you look at the idea of being able to, they don't get the culture. They don't get the games, and typically, it's late here and early there, so it's just the same way. Like we don't really watch a lot of the Pac-12 is no longer in existence, but people really wasn't watching a lot of Pac-12 games because by the time they come on, it's 11 o'clock at night. We've been over football for the day, so to be able to take that brand out there, man, first of all, the hard work that you and the staff have been doing. We had Dr. Taylor on last week. He talked about taking the wind ensemble down to New Orleans, and for the first time at that event, they had an HBCU and how they wowed everyone to say, man, I didn't know you had that type of musical talent. But Southern's band on the other side, when you look at the world-renowned, internationally famed, there's a reason why that is said when the drum major is kicked out, because everybody around the world at some point has seen, and especially in this day of YouTube and social media, you're talking about millions upon millions of views. Matter of fact, I talked to my man, Garrett Edgerson, who's the media director for the band. He had did the analytics since 2021 up until this point. The band on YouTube alone had 22 million views. That just tell you how powerful the brand is, that I don't care what nobody say. There is a value to the marching band and what you guys put in, man. And a lot of people, I don't think, Safi, understand the work that's put in behind closed doors that you guys do for this marching band. You get a lot of people in the comments these days that want to complain about this, and that. But I think they often forget that these kids are students first and that you guys do the best that you can in order to create and continue the excellence with Dr. Isaac Greggs that he started for so long ago.
Yes. You hit it on a point. They are student musicians. So parents don't send you to school to major in marching band. They send you here to get education. And, yes, it's a strenuous program. We work hard. And our motto, often imitate and never duplicate it. So I'm not going to touch on those comments, just laugh at, everyone has an opinion. But these kids are doing a wonderful job, and just all of the practice and hard work and dedication that goes into this group. And most people know it's for the Human Jukebox, but our wind ensemble is right tip-top with any program in the nation. We don't get the exposure with it, but guess what? We're starting to use it and we're putting these 22 million views to work. So hopefully we just put out some clips the other day. People will check it out and see what we're working with over here with this wind ensemble. And we have 4 different bands in the spring while maintaining the marching band. So we have the wind ensemble, the symphonic band, concert band, brass choir.
And
pep band, and marching band, yes.
And you're doing all of that at the same time while performing at basketball games when you can, and as well as the numerous Mardi Gras, because what's a Mardi Gras in South Louisiana without hearing Do What You Want to coming up a street with the Southern University Marching Band?
It's none. Southern University is the standard.
It is the standard, and it's one, especially during the Mardi Gras season, that one would love to hear. Also, aside from that, man, just talk about the staff and the work that you guys put in, man, for continuously having to get this band prepared and ready for those types of performances.
What was James Brown motto? The hardest working man in show business. Is that James Brown?
That's James Brown.
Well, guess what? We're the hardest working band in show business.
I like it.
Like I said, we do a lot of community outreach, meaning that maybe every week we have a performance that we're doing outreach to the community. Because guess what? We're nothing without the community. And we can't forget where we come from. No matter how big or how small, we have to pay homage and help out the people who got us where we're at. So, like I said, it's a lot of hard work and dedication from the top of Dr. Taylor all the way down to the students, to the freshmen. Everyone works together, and everyone works in that ministry. We make it happen.
One of the biggest things that I think people out there don't realize is, to me, the true value of what that Southern Marching Band does for the university. It is a beacon of recruitment. It is whether a kid wants to go to school to be in the band or not. It's just I want to be around it. I use it as like Alabama. Football with Nick Saban was the front door to open up Alabama to the rest of the world to say, man, I want to go to Alabama just because of their football team. You knew you wasn't going there to play football for Alabama. You just wanted to be a part and around it. To me, Southern's Marching Band, other than anything else on that campus, is the #1 recruiting tool. Just have the band show up. And the value, to me, I think Southern Band is undervalued. I think everybody expects Southern Band to have it, so they expect, well, why should I give anything to it? But just like anything in this world, nothing is free. And not only is it free, it takes value to put into it in money because, like we said in the very beginning of this conversation, these are students who need scholarships for school, book, room and board, housing, but yet we stretch them so thin with all of these performances that everybody wants the band to be at all over the place.
Yeah, like I said, that's a thin line, but we make it do with what we have to do. Administration is doing a great job with supporting all our endeavors, all the way down to the community. So,
and we can do
know your worth, know your value.
And I feel I'm holding the community and the administrators and everybody. We could do so much more because that is not even a hidden gem. It is a gem and it's a diamond that the rest of the world understands shines bright on Southern University. I believe we got to do more to support it, to give more to it, and realize that these students do a lot to continue this legacy of why the Southern University Marching Band, famously known as the Human Jukebox, is always requested. I don't care. You always looking at a request. I've been to Dr. Taylor, the office before. The phone rings off the hook with emails of people requesting to see this band all over the place. So, that is
all over the world, yes.
All over the world, a true value. Let me ask you this, because not only is this what you're doing, you have some other things going on as well. Talk to me about some other things that you're getting yourself prepared for.
Basically, I announced my candidacy for Omega Psi Phi Mighty Ninth District Keeper of Records and Seal position for the Mighty Ninth District. Our district comprises of 4 states: Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas. I put my name in a hat, and since early December, I've been on the campaign trail. I done visited about 22 chapters already. Been to Arkansas, been to Dallas 3 or 4 times. I basically hit all the chapters in Louisiana, and I still going to Oklahoma, and I'm going to each state meeting. So I'm rocking and rolling till our district meeting. And I feel like the time is now for my district, and I feel like I could put Louisiana in a better predicament by me being in this position, and especially my undergraduate brothers of the Beta Sigma chapter, where I do serve as advisor. And I preach to my undergraduate brothers scholarship. Their cumulative GPA average is 3.1, which is unheard of. So I'm very proud of them. But do you know what's better than a 3.1? A 3.2.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go.
So we are up and up. So that's what I have going on. I've been promoting, like I say, on Instagram a lot. I know if you're in the Baton Rouge area, even in Louisiana, I know we have listeners from all over, but my flyer's been all over the spot. So you can like, love, share. That's how you can support. So that's what I have going on, just on the personal side note.
Yeah, and of course, because we got listeners from all over the place. We'll get someone checking in from Harlem, from Miami, to Virginia. We get Dallas for sure, Arkansas for sure, all across the state of Louisiana. So, I mean, we got people out there, man. So if y'all listening, you part of that, what's the fraternity? You know, I'm going to let you say it loud and proud.
The Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
That's my dog. I didn't know, pun intended. That's my boy.
There you go. The jokes that we being serious and he joking on here.
That's my boy Safi Raul. He is the assistant director of bands over at Southern University, and you see what he's doing. It goes beyond what he's doing at Southern. He is a leader within the community and being heavily involved in, the dedication, traveling around, getting to know the fellas of the fraternity and all the different other places around the South within his region and within his district in order to go out there and continue to serve the way that he wants to see it continue to grow and do better. Man, Saf, as always, it's good and it's a pleasure to have you on, man, and I appreciate you for coming on this morning.
I appreciate you. Look, I'm about to head downstairs to the hotel right now, get on this bus, and like I said, execute this show.
My man, Safi
And
Raul.
like I say, you need the staff on here next week to talk about this beautiful show that we're about to put on. So please tune in. Do not miss it. If you're in the Los Angeles area, please drop in us. Just holler at us. Hit us on the gram. We love to meet you after the show tonight.
SoFi Stadium is where the big performance is going to be. Thank you, Safi, for coming on this morning, man.
All right, thank you. Good morning. God bless.
All right. Let's get ready to take a break. We'll come back on the side. We'll continue to keep things going. It is the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
He really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it. Out to the 10, and 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss. And a nice catch. Ricks on the 1st and 10. Little draw play. Takes it outside. He's got the first down.
But Ricks going to take it up the middle on 2nd.
All right, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. We are rocking and rolling this morning. Hey, listen, everybody. It is a, as we say, a pretty tough Saturday morning, but what we got on the screen right there, give it just me. There we go. Let's do that. There we go. Good morning, everybody. I am Perry White. Good to have you on 107.3 FM here. It is the Jaguar Journal. Glad to have you guys. It is a wonderful morning. Everybody watching on our YouTube channel, my man, about to call you Mark because I saw him on the screen. Mike, all them M's, Mike and Mark, all of that's the case. But got my man Mike here with me this morning. And listen, he's rocking and rolling with me as well. Everybody on our YouTube and everywhere else trying to make sure Mike keep us on point as we continue to bring it to you on YouTube and Facebook, as well as you can follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as on our YouTube, the Jaguar Journal, on X and Instagram, Jaguar Journal _ and Facebook, the Jaguar Journal. Be sure to follow our link tree and all our social media outlet descriptions to see all our platforms if you want to be able to keep up with us. Glad that you're keeping up with us this morning. To want to thank my man Safi Raouf coming on. He's assistant director of bands over at Southern University, performing at SoFi Stadium today for the Battle of the Bands, Honda Battle of the Bands, with not only the Southern University Marching Band, famously known as the Human Jukebox, but you're going to have the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, along with Hampton University, North Carolina A&T, Alabama State, and Alabama A&M, all taking place today in Los Angeles, California. Should be huge to take this HBCU culture out to the West Coast, in which they don't get it much. And I can recall I was talking to some people, I have my talks with folks from back in the day, as they say, in Southern, going out to L.A., playing in the Coliseum. I want to say playing Howard years ago. So interesting, and that was, we talking in the 90s, 1990, I think, 1991, maybe 89, one of those three, somewhere in there. It was before Pete, but, taking the brand out to the West Coast. So, now that we are here where we are, this is great in 2025. We still have our prayers out to all of those affected by the wildfire that has been raging out in L.A. along with the wind. But listen, you got to be able to try to find some positive along so much that has been going on. And hopefully, from what I looked at today, this thing should be pretty much a sellout. So I think that the L.A. community and surrounding area are excited. Nothing else is going on today in L.A. All of the professional teams don't have anything going on today within L.A. They are all out of pocket today. So this is prime time opportunity to take the culture and the brand and open it up to the eyes of the millions of people that's around. But it'll be thousands of people, of course, at SoFi Stadium. Beautiful facility, might I add. That is the home of the Los Angeles Rams. So, as we continue to keep it going, and they're going to keep it going, we're going to keep it going, y'all going to keep it going, because this is what we do at the Jaguar Journal. But before I had my man Safi on talking about the band and everything else, I was talking about that Super Bowl, right? I want to get back to that, because do y'all really believe the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are helped out by the referees? This is an honest question. Let me know in the chat. And people at home, I know you're sitting amongst each other and, you're looking at each other, you're having a conversation. Do the refs really help the Kansas City Chiefs? I must be oblivious. I must be blind. I don't see it. It's just, I guess as the old folks say, it's right over my head. And maybe that's because I like them. But wouldn't it have been great to see the Cowboys? No, not the Cowboys. Maybe the Saints. I almost got you, Cowboy fan, because you've been waiting 30 years. Mike, how old are you? Never seen the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. 22 years old. Been 30-something. Has it been 30 years? Almost 30 years. Mike, have you ever even known the Cowboys to be good in your lifetime? Like to say championship contender Super Bowl? Oh, well, he's saying he's a Raiders fan, so I'm getting on you, Cowboy fans, because I was listening to Michael Irvin the other day. He was not excited at all about this new hire for the head coach for the Cowboys. To me, it's Jerry Jones doing what Jerry Jones does. Absolutely nothing. I know my man Kevin Walker shaking his head right now like, damn, P, not so much on us. But yeah, Cowboys. Folks been born and went to college and got a degree and still ain't never seen the Cowboys even make it to the Super Bowl. Can you believe that? It is holding on to something in the past that you want championship pedigree. You want to be seen as a champion, but it's been 30 years. Southern, I ain't going to let you off the hook either because I almost want to throw Southern fans in this too. To me, Southern fans is, and I'm a Southern guy myself, I saw the Pete Richardson years from afar. I was born. I was alive. But I saw it from a different perspective. Of course, my introduction to HBCU football was going to UAPB games. UAPB joined the SWAC in 97. UAPB had went to an NAIA national championship, I want to say, in 96 or 95. Played Central Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. So UAPB joins the SWAC along with Alabama A&M. Now, UAPB will play HBCU schools here and there, but it wasn't a full schedule like once they joined the SWAC. So in 97, they gave me a full season because at that time, the Golden Lions used to play their home games in Little Rock at a stadium called War Memorial. They would only play 2 home games because in those days, remember, most of our schools within the conference either didn't have their own stadiums or they had little bitty stadiums, i.e. what you see at Texas Southern today, i.e. what Blackshear Stadium used to be at Prairie View, i.e. what Humphrey Stadium was in Pine Bluff. And many others. I mean, over the years, Grambling got the stadium they did. Alcorn got the stadium they did. Jackson still don't have a stadium. That I ain't even going to slight you. I ain't going to shade you. Alabama State was playing at the Crefton Bowl for years. Southern honestly may have the oldest on-campus stadium in the conference. A.W. Mumford Stadium is very old, but that's neither here nor there. That's not the conversation. But my introduction was to the SWAC. And, of course, we had been watching the Bayou Classic. I mean, that was just a thing to do during Thanksgiving. You watched the Bayou Classic, whether you a Southern or Grambling fan or not. That was just, in that time in the 90s, was huge for the culture. And the culture very much lived in our house. We supported it. I watched the BET Black college football games on Saturday night, whether it was the SWAC or whether it was MEAC. That's why I told you I used to look up to my man Mark Gray, my man Charlie Neal, all of those guys holding it down back in those days. Charlie still rocking and rolling. Mark still rocking and rolling. And here I am now in the space with them from being a little kid watching them. But Pete Richardson, the Southern University Jaguars, a team of the 90s in football. Black College National Championship, SWAC Championship, played in the very first SWAC Championship, the inaugural SWAC Championship, against a really good Jackson State team. Southern fans, well, let's just say administrators, the decision makers, they can't let that Pete Richardson day go. That Pete Richardson, to me, is still what the Dallas Cowboys hang on from back in the 90s. I honestly believe that. And y'all know I'm Southern through and through, but when I got to Southern, I'm like, all right, I remember the years of Pete Richardson, but now I'm of age. Peter just left, departed in 2009. Stump Mitchell comes in 2010. And considering Pete was here, that was a long time, 93 to 2009. Of course, the 03 and 04 years saw championship appearances. And then up until that point, you had not won a championship since 99. But for me, I compared Southern fans, and Southern fans may not like it. But it's true because you got to remember, I'm what you call the new age Southern fan, but I came from the outside to the inside. Hey, now I'm here. I'm all the way inside. But from me looking at it, it's like the 90s. We can't let it go either. But I will say this, at least Southern had made it to a damn championship, Cowboy fans. Where have you been? Have they even made it to a conference championship? Because you got Jerry Jones, who continues to want to do it his way instead of the way that may actually work, and it's not his way. And I don't know what it's going to take. I know what it'll take. I don't want to say it on the air because the Cowboy fans will tell you what it'll take too. Just have a conversation with the Cowboy fans and say, what you think it'll take for us to get to the Super Bowl? They're going to tell you it's going to take for Jerry Jones to, and you take that wherever you want to go with it. But the Cowboys, you're not in the Super Bowl once again. Whose fault is that? It's your fault for believing. It's Jerry Jones' fault for keeping y'all believing. That star ain't meant nothing in a long time. Am I kicking you while you're down? Maybe. Because I don't know what the excitement going to be next year when they say once again, like I hear every year for 30 years, is our year. The Commanders made it to the championship before you guys. And not even the Super Bowl. At least they made it one step. The Commanders. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? The Washington Commanders. Wow. Let's take a break. I'm sick of y'all. Little Saturday morning humor. Stay tuned. More of the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy, no pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket, and his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
pass.
It's
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable Michael Hayes. 3rd down. And 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing, nice catch made.
The receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
The backfield. Plenty of time for Levy across the middle. Has his man at the 15. You know, I don't know if you want to break the spirit of Terrence Levy or not. Here he wings one wide open down the middle and a one-handed grab made.
The way. 3rd down and 4. And here's Lewis off the catch. Lewis still on his feet, and Lewis is streaking down the side.
It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I am Perry White. Jump right into it. It is Saturday morning. A lot warmer than what we were talking about the week before, right? Hard to believe. It's hard to believe. Literally, we was just dealing with 7 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches in some places of snow and we get temperatures up all the way to nearly 70 degrees this past week. Isn't it fun to live in the South? Isn't it fun to be in South Louisiana considering how we fluctuate with the temperatures? Now, I get it. Some people like the cold more than the heat. I like the heat more than the cold, in my opinion. I'm a pool guy, tropical guy, beach guy. Sit me on the beach with a couple palm trees with the sound of a beautiful, clear ocean in front of me all day. I like shrimp. I eat shrimp cocktails and give me a little crab leg, snow crab with some butter. They call that heaven in my world. But some people want it cold. They want to eat chili and gumbo all day. I don't eat that. You want to put on all these layers of clothes. You want an undershirt. You want a t-shirt. You want 2 shirts, 3 shirts. You want a hoodie, a coat, a hat, a glove, scarf, earmuffs. No, I don't want none of that. I don't even want a shirt. I just want some swim trunks. That's all I want in my closet. Just straight swim trunks every day and sandals. That's my attire. So I'm glad it's warming up, man. I cannot wait till we get things rocking and rolling. Guess what? Not only is the Super Bowl coming up, Mardi Gras parades are going to start to rock and roll. Are you guys excited? If you're in South Louisiana, you're excited. You look forward to this time of year because you know what? It is festive. And it's something that I cannot describe when I'm telling people outside of Louisiana. First of all, they can't even believe you guys off work, that the world stops here when Mardi Gras gets going. School? Why are they out of school? You get Mardi Gras break and a spring break? Damn right we do. I used to tell people when I was in school about a Mardi Gras break. They like, what is that? A day we gonna go kick it. Couple days we going to kick it. What do you mean? I look forward to Mardi Gras every year. And the millions of people in South Louisiana, small town communities, and I've been to a lot. I've been to some Mardi Gras. I can tell you, this Spanish Town Mardi Gras, is that the one that's the parade here, Spanish Town Parade? It has really started to grow on me within the past 2 years. Not even gonna lie. I know it has had a lot of controversy and a lot of things in the past, but it's really started to grow on me. I can't even front. Last year, I had a decent time. And when I say decent, I ain't meaning that low. I mean decent, like a really good time. I went to a Mardi Gras parade in Donaldsonville. Out of all the ones, it was, I went to a Mardi Gras parade in Slidell. It was, they just there. That's what I got. They was just there, like, you know. But I went to a Mardi Gras parade in New Rouge. Boy, let me tell you. That's turn. That's community. Having a good time. All over the place. Everywhere. So far, that's my favorite small. I think they say St. Martinville has one. I don't know if they still do it. Mamou. Places like that, little small towns have their celebrations. Until I come across somebody who says, hey, Perry, come see how we do it here. I'm going to tell you right now, New Rouge, for me, small town, Mardi Gras parade, for me. Now, remember, I ain't been around. I'm not from here. I have not lived here my whole life. So I can only tell you what I have seen and what I have been opened up to for me. New Rouge know what they doing. But I've heard of some other places that know what they doing as well. I just haven't seen it. I've heard about it. Then, of course, New Orleans. My favorite parade personally is the Bacchus Parade. That Sunday. I like the Bacchus Parade. My boy Garrett, he talks to me all the time. He likes the Endymion Parade. I think what's another one? Femme Fatale. All of those type of parades, you know, but I like the Bacchus Parade. Uptown, Tchoupitoulas and Napoleon, where it gets started. Work its way through Uptown, carries over, and go all the way to downtown. I think that's St. Charles all the way down. I love that parade, Bacchus. It starts about midday where they say it does. You know you're going to stop 100 times. But, man, it's something about that Sunday down in New Orleans. It's just a good time to me. Once again, Baton Rouge, you know, listen. I've heard a lot of fluff about the Spanish Town parades over the years. I've heard it has a racist undertone to it, a little freaky. That's what I saw last year. It was a little freaky, you know. Do kids listen to 107.3? I don't think they like talk radio. Ain't no music on here. We talking about how you can get better financially in college and 7 in the morning, kids ain't watching. The grown folks listening to me this morning. Yeah, you know, I tell you how to get better financially. Get yourself out of debt. Listen to us on 107.3. But, you know, the Spanish Town Parade, I got to admit, it's grown on me. It has grown on me. I also like the South Down Parade, little neighborhood parade. Seriously. I'm right there near the neighborhood. I took my son to it the first time I heard about it. You know, very family-friendly, family-oriented, going through the South Down neighborhood. I really enjoy that. That one actually doesn't necessarily feel like Mardi Gras. I just feel like a small community parade, and I like stuff like that. Close-knit, neighbors all out in the yard, looking forward this one time a year to set up the tent, open up the windows, open up the front door, and greet everybody who walks by and say hello, and I like that. I really do. But most of all, I like Mardi Gras. Nothing gonna top New Orleans Mardi Gras. I'm naming all these places, yeah, but Mardi Gras, New Orleans, and over the years, I have invited friends after friends after friends down here to New Orleans to get an idea of what it is like. My man Reggie Flood invited me to my first Zulu parade some years ago. I just didn't know it was so early. I left my house at like 4:30 in the morning. Because it's like, hey, you better try to find a parking spot, because if you can't find a parking spot, it's going to be all bad. You're going to have to walk forever. Until I actually walked the actual Zulu parade with Southern Band and didn't realize these folks walked me all over New Orleans. I don't know where I started and I don't know where I ended, but I know it wasn't nowhere close to each other after my feet. I always go get my feet massaged and rubbed on and soaked after a good Mardi Gras season, too. I recommend that to everybody. Get you a good soles in your shoes, good socks, and go get your feet rubbed on and soaked. All right, let's get ready to take a break. We'll get to the top of the hour, continue this thing. Hey, man, I love y'all. This is the Jaguar Journal. Be right back.
Quarter with Jackson State leading 10-3. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again, throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver, Hayes, makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. And every time you think Southern struggles, they come back, they make a play. They've done it all year long. Kick is up. Kick is good. Second down and a yard to go. Again, they give it to Lewis. Lewis finds room. Lewis still on his feet. Lewis making a move to the outside. He's inside the 25, the 10, the 5. What a run by Ryan Lewis. 69-yard run for Ryan Lewis. And how about this? Kicks up. Kicks good. Halftime, George Johnson along with Charles Mann. Southern trailed in this football game 10-7. Then they reel off 14 straight points, and they do it with the big plays.
And that's something that we didn't think would happen, at least from Southern's perspective. They've been able to methodically go down the field on people and win ball games, not the big plays. You saw the big play by Ryan Lewis running 69 yards, the nice throw by Terrence Levy. This is something that I don't think Jackson State thought they would see in Southern either, and they go into halftime down by 7 points.
Jackson State came in the best defense out of the SWAC. And if you take a look at the highlights, you will see that this club, and I'm talking about Southern, was really able to capitalize on a couple of miscues, and the big plays are the result of it.
And this is Daniel Guy with a nice stiff arm to Bradley Pittman there. And he runs that ball 36 yards inside for a touchdown, makes it 7-3. And then Terrence Levy, quarterbacking, throws a big bomb to Michael Hayes, who gets by Rashard Anderson and waltzes into the end zone for a 69-yard reception. And then the big run by Ryan Lewis, a scat back for Southern, races 69 yards for the score. And that's where it stands right now, 17-10. Southern is on top.
Passing leaders in the conference. Donald Hayes from Grambling, your top passer. Washington second, but he's intercepted right there. This time the inside handoff.
And the ball was dropped to Tommy Head.
Here's Taylor in the pocket, looking downfield and looking for Leroy Fields, and this one looks intercepted, and it is.
He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
pass.
It's
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable Michael Hayes. Hayes now with 187 yards receiving. 169-yard touchdown, 181-yard touchdown.
And Southern's came up with all the big plays.
They lead by 14. And that one is intercepted by Darden. Darden looking for some room, and Gallion will finally drag him down. But we start the 4th right after this. 2nd down and 20 after the penalty.
Oh, he's got a man wide open.
Going into the corner. Touchdown! Reynolds attempting the point after. It's good. A 32-yard field goal. Kick is up. Kick is good.
This is a great football game.
We knew it would be, though. Torrey Thigpen got us out of our seats.
And this is the punt return by Torrey Thigpen. We were just talking about we haven't seen him. He breaks 2 tackles and runs up the sideline. He has great blocking, but gets pushed out of bounds on about the 1-yard line.
And touchdown Jackson State.
The game is a game of momentum swings. Snap is good. The kick is up.
On driver. Yes, sir.
The ball up to the big receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out of bounds at the 10-yard line. An I formation. Oh! Fumble Levy. He kicks it and falls on top of it.
Touchdown. Receiver that has not seen much action comes up big.
1st and 10. Washington over the middle, intercepted. On his own play of the game.
All right, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Glad to have you guys with us, man. Everybody out there listening on 107.3 FM. Top of the hour. Good morning to everybody out there and everybody listening and watching on our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. It costs nothing. It is free. And everybody watching on our Facebook Live, hit the like and follow button. It costs you nothing. Free 99. Not even 99, just free. Free. Nothing else to it. So love to have your support here on the studio, here on the show this morning with me, calling live, talking to him. You know, I talked about him just a minute ago. A guy who I watched growing up, those old school days of watching my black college football when I was a kid, and now here I am in the same space to share it, and I'm glad to be able to share it with him. My man, Mark Gray. What's up, Mark?
Hey, what's the deal, P? How you doing?
Man, doing good, man. Good morning to you, man. Glad to have you on, man. I was just having that conversation with the fans out there. I kind of used something that I may have upset some folks this morning, some Southern fans, but they know I love them. They know I love Southern. But I kind of compared Southern fans a little bit to the Dallas Cowboy fans, Mark, of those.
Wow.
You know, and I say this because, listen, we know the Dallas Cowboys can't let the 90s go, right? The fans. Them Southern fans, hey, we cannot let the 90s go during those golden years of Pete Richardson. And I guess I had put it together. I'm like, and we keep trying to recreate whatever that was in the 90s. So I don't know if that upsets some folks, but does that make sense to you, what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it is always hard for a fan base to give up on the glory years that they focused on. And when you add the intensity of being a fan of being a Southern, a fan of being, Jaguar Nation or what have you, there's a standard that's been set. Even though it was 30 years ago, there's still the standard. And, if you can't dominate, we're not going to dominate. The days of Nevada and going, 7 or 8 in a row in the Bayou Classic, just don't think that that's going to be coming back anytime soon. There's too many good coaches coming into the conference. You had guys like Sam Shade at Alabama A&M. It's a new world order now, and you got to be realistic that with the dynamics of the way that the conference is set up, the conference play-in game, the championship game, the whole bit, it's going to be difficult, more difficult than ever, for any team to pull off what we saw under the days of Pete Richardson. So you got to be realistic. The levels of dominance that we've seen, I think, with Jackson under the cap, the veil of Coach Prime, so to speak. So you put everything into the mix. I think you got to be realistic. You got to have realistic expectations as a fan, Perry. And I think sometimes that they are unreasonable expectations, but the standard has been set, and you don't want to, back off the standard that people have been used to. So sometimes with great expectation comes great disappointment. But, you still look at the program. You're still playing for the championship on championship Saturday. So in my condescending East Coast kind of way, I'd say get a life.
Don't do me like that, Mark. Look, and I say that because I was listening to Michael Irvin earlier this week, and he was talking about, they're still holding on to the championship aspirations as Cowboy fans. But he's like, there have been generations of people who've come and gone, and the fan base, people who have passed on from you got a whole new, like I'm talking to Mike. Mike is 22, who's the producer. He's 22. Should I say more? He don't know nothing about the 90s. And the kids at Southern now don't know nothing about the 90s. So it's like we got to do something to recreate that now in the moment. And I think that's what the fan base do. Every year is that year. The same way Cowboy fans, same way Southern fans. This is the year. Every year feels like that year. It just feels like it's the year not only to win the SWAC, but I'm talking about to win the Black College National Championship, right?
I'm in D.C., so we're coming off of the high of Jaden Daniels, kind of raising the level of expectation to where next year anything less than a trip to the Super Bowl in just the second year is going to be a failure. So fans have been intoxicated by the success. You know what I'm saying?
Has it been an injection in the arm to the area like you can feel the pride? Like, yeah, even though it was like we fell short to the Super Bowl, but it just felt good to be back in a position like, here we go.
It did. Now, the bar has been raised. So if you don't get that far, and I think the bar was raised by Preet so high that, and the standard of excellence, the standard has been set so high, I'm not quite sure if you're going to see anybody dominate the conference the way he did. And you have to be able to creative enough to understand that, A, you got to hope that on the last 2 weeks of the season, you're in a position to win your division. That's a good thing because then you can play for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody looking to obliterate somebody, it's just not going to happen. Transfer portal, number of coaches coming into the league that are really, really good. You're going to have realistic expectations. You know, sometimes 8-3 is a good year when you've got teams that are competing at a national level, and I think that's got to be a more realistic expectation of where a lot of programs are, in particular Southern, because the days of dominance that we saw when Eddie Robinson was rolling through there and dismantling people, Pete Richardson, to your earlier point, and more contemporarily with Coach Prime, I'm not quite sure we're ever going to see anybody dominant because of the way that the landscape of college has changed. You know what I'm saying? It's a different world order, and you can't expect things to be like they were back in the 90s. You know, when we could actually come out of our house and not feel like we could lose our lives.
And I would say,
just when a black man on the street.
And I look at it like this, you know, the conference has changed with so many teams coming, so many coaches coming into these programs, right? Last year, Cornell Maynard at that point was as they say, the old head in the room. He was the longest tenured coach, right? Now he's gone. You know, he's since out of there.
Remember, we're speaking in the past tense of the longest tenured coach.
He was.
He was.
And then you look at the overall idea of the conference, right? TC Taylor in year 2 perhaps has one of the best teams to come through the SWAC in a long time, just the way they dominated defensively, and then they had the pieces offensively with a strong run game and Irv Mulligan, and then you had just everything built around them, and they ran themselves all the way to a SWAC championship. Not only that, they ran themselves all the way to a Celebration Bowl victory. Now, when we look at the conference, and this is the conversation where I want to go with you, traditional coach over what we're starting to see, and let's look over in your neck of the woods on the East Coast, Delaware State and Norfolk. Delaware State going in the direction of getting Deshaun Jackson. Norfolk State going in the direction of getting Michael Vick. 2 guys who did not follow the traditional path that we typically see with our coaches, but 2 guys who we feel have resources and the ability to bring in things that maybe those traditional coaches couldn't quite bring into some programs that have been struggling for some time.
You know something? You got one of those bleep buttons here, because I was going to offer up that's a bunch of bull crap. All right, let's be real for a second. All right, to your point, it's a change in landscape. We all have to evolve to where it is as opposed to dealing with where it was. Okay? Now, it's a year-to-year thing in this league. Make no mistake about it. Again, I can't speak to you because of the transfer portal, NIL, the kid that you get that's going to be kind of like coming down to you from a major D1 school. The landscape of transfer is so much different. And quite frankly, when you're in a position like Southern, when you have a chance to, lock down that difference-making player, you have to make sure that, how can I say this? You want to treat that player coming into the SWAC as the way that you would treat him as an SEC player. And sometimes people want players who are different makers to take a less, and because it's for the cause. Kids like that don't see it like that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The whole loyalty piece and the value judgment that people of us, like my age and Gen X, and in your age, like Gen Z, this generation don't see it like that. I don't agree with the way that they see it, but it is what it is. And if your life if your livelihood, I should say, is kind of built upon banking on people to perform at a high level, but they don't share your same vision, they don't share your same ethics, so to speak, then you end up in circumstances where you got unrealistic expectations that teams and programs can't live up to. So it's going to be interesting, and I'm glad we're having this conversation because we really don't know the influence of NIL just yet on HBCU sports all the way around. We're still coming to grips with it. I do admire Commissioner McClellan for at least understanding that, this is an option that our school have to be prepared for. You know what I'm saying? Thinking outside the box, so to speak. And until folks, quite frankly, can stop thinking inside the box, we're going to still have the long-standing arguments about this is what we could do if this particular athlete or these athletes would come back to black schools. All right, you're right. That is true. But how are you handling that transition?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And until, quite frankly, and it's not just a Southern thing, it's an HBCU thing. And this notion that HBCUs have had for so long about, black athletes ought to want to come there, well, they have options. So what happens when you have options? You make you got more chances to find some person or somebody that's willing to buy in to your philosophy. I think you got to go ahead and move off of your philosophy to what's in the best interest of the player, and that's how the players are rolling and their families about them. So you got to be able to deal with that. And the mindset that they just going to take just because the cause, that's no more. It's a different generation. I'm not saying that I agree with it, but you got to adjust to the generation or you're going to get left behind. And I think that's what HBCUs have got to find out, generally speaking, not just Southern, is to make sure that they stand on the cutting edge of taking advantage of the landscape that you're in right now, as opposed to just want somebody to, embrace your program because of the tradition and the cause. Because this generation of student athletes could really give less than a damn about tradition. You know what I'm saying?
The really good ones for sure.
They want to get theirs.
Yeah. Well, my money.
Serious,
what's the bag?
point blank.
The bag. That's
what's
all.
The bag, or better yet, or you give me a platform that I can get my thing off so that I can secure my bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there are various layers to it, and the old school has to get out the way, Perry. All right. Sorry, y'all. I may be knocking on 60, but I ain't as old as you fools who thinking that just because it was done like this in 1973, that a kid in 2024 or 25 is going to buy it. It ain't happening, y'all. It's just not. You got young parents who are about securing the bag. This is the reality generation of parents who think that they can come up with, at the very least, a reality show or a podcast to get their brand on. As much as I hate it, you have to embrace it because that's the time. And if somebody going to hold on to old school virtues, you can hold on to being at the bottom end of the conference and end up, quite frankly, like Mississippi Valley. And who wants to be there?
Nobody. Let's get ready to take a break right quick, Mark. We'll come back and continue the conversation, all right? You guys stay tuned. Got my man Mark Gray here with me. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help, only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown.
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8. The deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
We are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning to everybody watching us live on our Facebook and as well as our YouTube channel. And everybody out there listening this morning live on 107.3 FM across the radio waves in the Baton Rouge, capital city area. Got my man Mark Gray. Listen, y'all don't understand. Look, Mark, over the years, he and I have become closer and closer. Man, this is a guy who I look up to, man. This is my dude. And you know why he my dude? He's one of the few that's going to keep it, as the young folks say, 100 with you. Mark, good morning.
What's up with you, bro?
I love it because you keep it 100 in the conversations that we're having. And if you're just tuning in, we're having conversations about the traditional versus the old school versus the traditional old school way versus the new school way. And I'm looking at Deshaun Jackson over at Delaware State, and I'm looking at Michael Vick at Norfolk State. For you, what kind of impact do both of those fellas have on programs who have been struggling, Mark?
It's funny that you mentioned that because I got a couple of friends that are close to both of those programs. And it's interesting to note that how these two former NFL players who really don't have any college experience have been able to get these jobs based upon the name and the cachet of what Coach Prime has done. Everybody ain't going to be successful. Everybody's not Coach Prime. Michael Vick has never coached before. He doesn't know how to organize nor galvanize a program. I bring that up because everybody is always comparing what happened with Prime and Jackson to what goes on everywhere. Prime's just a different dude, y'all. I mean, he just got an it factor about him where he can go into, you know something? He's like Nick Saban. When Nick Saban calls a parent's house and said, I want to come over to visit you and talk about your son coming to play for Alabama.
You tell the whole neighborhood about it.
That's right. And Prime is that same way. So I think a lot of these HBCUs who bought into the notion that any dude that they get from the NFL is just going to win. Eddie George has helped that out because he's done it. But these are special people. I'm not quite sure that you can look for, coaches who don't have the cachet as a Prime to be as good as Prime. Now, I know that there was some conversation. The reason that Deshaun Jackson got it is because he's got ties with upper-level members in the administration of the university. So when he expressed an interest, he was at the top of the list because of the name, brand, value, recognition in that community. Michael Vick is an icon. I mean, that's Allen Iverson on, the Tidewater Peninsula or whatever. There's nobody greater. So these opportunities that these players have gotten had better work for their various schools, because if they don't, then where do you go? I got my question marks about both of them. One thing we do know about Prime is that he had coached Shador and Shiloh. and he was able to get Travis Hunter. Can Michael Vick do that? There's that kind of quality talent in Tidewater. We know that, but can he? And then, well, there's no other way to put it. Sometimes Norfolk can be just straight ignorant on a variety of different athletic departmental procedures. And I think the infrastructure with Ashley Robinson was a lot better than people give him credit for, creating the environment for Prime to take his team to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To take that program and go to places where it hasn't been gone before. Just because Deshaun Jackson played for the Philadelphia Eagles and they're about, 45 minutes away from Delaware State's campus, I don't think that guarantees that they're going to be success. I know they're working on getting some recruits from California, but I got to be honest with you, having been to the less than great city of Dover, in a somewhat strange place that Delaware is, God bless Joe Biden, you're going to have to show me that you can get the kind of players, because I know Deshaun has, and my sources from Delaware State have telling me this, that there are a bunch of Cali players, maybe even a Cali quarterback that they're trying to get there. But how you recruit from anywhere in California to Dover? Yeah, show me.
Let me ask. You look at the idea, and I was having this conversation with one of my buddies from Prairie View, and literally he called me and he said, man, what do you think? Are you with the new age coach? And they call it the celebrity hire, but I'm like, former guys, but then I look at like Eddie Robinson Jr. at Alabama State. He had not coached. He came from real estate and then came from television. Now, Bubba McDowell was different because he had been around the program at Prairie View for a while. I look at even Doug Williams coming back to Grambling. That's considered a celebrity coach. Pete Richardson played in the league for the Buffalo Bills. Even Monty Coleman at UAPB. Of course, you're talking about out in that D.C. area. Everybody knows him. But I said, and this is how I looked at it. No, they may not all be successful, and they're not all going to bring what Prime brought. But I look at Delaware State and I look at Norfolk State. Delaware State has not been relevant to me that I feel in my lifetime in football, right? I heard about the Delaware State teams in the 80s, right? I've heard about Delaware State
when
in the 80s.
I was in college, yeah. they were running the wing T and winning championships with the wing T.
And when did that fizzle out?
About the time Jay Walker became a senior.
There we go. And we're talking in the 90s, mid-90s.
Right. So that's just how it is, man. And to your point, everybody ain't going to have that lightning in a bottle. I'm just wondering, can you galvanize? Now, I will say this, in Deshaun's favor, if he has that way with the community and the corporate folks, then he may be able to do a thing or two. That's the thing that concerns me, because you got disarray in that Delaware State athletic department and amongst the athletic administration. And I think the downside to that particular hour right now is higher than the upside to me.
And Mark, this is why I'm saying it, because the coach may not be successful. Deshaun and Mike may not win a championship, but can they lead the program even if they don't win better than what they found, and maybe with a facility upgrade? Maybe, like, even I just say the slightest thing with Dion. I mean, Jackson State's been around forever with football and never had a adequate practice football field. Didn't have an adequate practice facility. I mean, a football facility for the players. You talking about getting treatment and everything else. Maybe by the time they leave, can Delaware State and Norfolk gain something out of it? Because, listen, the conversation is the traditional coach. I always take Eric Dooley. He's never left the SWAC West. He's coached at UAPB, Grambling, Prairie View, and Southern. What does he bring to the table, besides the university does more for him than he does for the university? I'm using that as an example.
Yeah, because what happens is that the fact that you put a big name on a school like that, it's supposed to give them a brand.
Yeah.
You're supposed to create that. This is the Deshaun Jackson brand. But how does that look like on the field? You know what I'm saying?
At this point, am I focused on facilities to see what resources can he bring in here?
Well, see, here's the deal, P. When it comes to Delaware State, Lee Hall had embarked on a 5-year mission to improve the athletic facilities. And it was the same mission that he had because, quietly, Lee Hall is the last coach to win a football championship at Morgan State. Now, it was a 5-way tie and had to go to some kind of
rock, paper,
inverse
scissors.
Mathematical Florida.
Yeah, flip a coin.
You know what I'm saying?
Wrestle me for it,
but they did go to the University of Buffalo or whatever, and they played the game and the whole bit. But Lee Hall was trying to do the upgrades to the program and things like that. And see, there's disarray inside the athletic department at Delaware State. There's a disconnection between the athletic department and some of those marketing people. And so my friends are like, all right, we'll see how this thing's going to work. I don't know if I would say cautiously optimistic, but they are cautiously optimistic in Norfolk right now. And the question for Michael Vick right now is everybody is wondering, where's he going to get his staff from? Where are the pool of resources that he can pull to get competent college football coaches to come in there? Because we all know that in a perfect world, a college football coach is really the CEO of the program.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering, is Michael Vick or Deshaun Jackson ready to be a CEO of a program? Do they know how to get good people, delegate responsibilities, and then they can go out and get the money? Because say what you want about Coach Prime, he know how to get that money.
He know how to go get that bag.
Dude, he showed you that he was about getting that bag when he was making bad rap songs, and he told you it must be the money, right? Remember that?
Must be the money.
And he has moved it along into a flourishing career. It's about the money. Everybody thinks they can do, all right, we're going to get ourselves a pro player. We're going to do what Coach Prime done. You don't do that. He's special, okay? Understand, there are layers to this thing. You've got legends. You've got all-stars. You've got superstars. And then you got those who just hang around long enough to get the retirement paycheck because you hung around for longevity. Prime was a difference maker. He was a force multiplier. I'm not quite sure that Michael Vick or Deshaun Jackson are force multipliers. And when you sign dudes like that in markets like that, you're expecting them to do great things. I got my doubts about the resources in Delaware, certainly. And in Norfolk, how can I say it? They kind of got an unrealistic clown type of fan base who seems to think that there's a great deal of reverence for what they did. But with all due respect, Aaron Sparrow and the boys ain't coming back no time soon. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that happened already.
Let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll come back and continue the conversation. Man, I'm enjoying this. My man Mark Gray, Perry White, 107.3. Glad to have you guys with us. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
And they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
Really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks. As a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks. Fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the.
All right, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. We are rocking and rolling. Glad to have you guys with us. I'm Perry White. Got my man Mike holding it down on the board, and then my man Mark Gray joining us. Good morning to everybody on 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. Everybody watching us on our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. It costs nothing. And watching us on our Facebook Live, hit that follow and that like button. Mark, good morning. We got it going on this morning, don't we?
Yeah, we do. I mean, you hit the nail on a subject that's very important to me. And I was thinking during the break that I'll be remiss if I got this out. If I didn't get this out, I should say. The problem that I have most of all with guys like Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick being gifted jobs because of their NFL cachet, it really takes the motivation or fairness, if you ask me, from grinders.
And I want to talk about that because you're talking about what we consider the traditional coaching. And I'm looking at the coaching hires. Take Sam Shade at Alabama A&M. You brought up Tremaine Jackson, who came from Valdosta. Sam was at Miles.
And that's where I want to talk about.
You even look at right here at home in Baton Rouge with Coach Terrence Graves, who has been around the circuit in many different places, who have put in the work and the time over the years to be where they at today.
And that's my part, my point. And that's why I dig Anton Goff. Anton Goff is a friend of mine. He was athletic director at Bowie State, and he was smart enough to realize that when it came time to elevate the guy to the right position, he got himself a grinder who came up playing football at Bowie State and the whole bit. And the next thing you know, Bowie State is in the Final Four of the Division II National Championship. So the moral to the story is we've seen a guy who's ascended from basically, and Damon is my guy. Damon Wilson at Morgan State is my guy. He's a tremendous defensive coach. But the way that the landscape is going right now, the guy who's grinded and given himself to the cause is the guy that's not worthy because of the major college or ex-pro player who's supposed to bring more cachet. And everybody's not Coach Prime. It ain't going to work out like that. So I got real concerns about whether or not Michael Vick or Deshaun Jackson is going to work. I don't think that athletic administrative infrastructure is like it was when Ashley Robinson made the pitch to get Coach Prime. And until schools start realizing that you got to have an infrastructure in place, or at least an administration that's willing to embrace innovation, you ain't going nowhere these days. And these names sound good. They bring a lot of hype and attention. But if they fail, they can be more damaging to your program than the upside if you had won. And I think there are a lot of lazy athletic administrators who are looking for the great big hire but don't know all the elements that it goes to creating a program. And until you have that, then we're going to have some significant issues with underachieving programs who are based upon unrealistic expectations because folks had solid NFL careers. We've seen NFL players who couldn't coach in the NFL. We're now, I think the former Giants running back, Tyrone Wheatley, who was given a job at Morgan before Lee Hall. Dude wouldn't interview me after I wrote in a column up here in the Afro-American newspaper that I thought the program was a rudderless boat in the middle of the Chesapeake. And quite frankly, when you win like maybe 2, 4, 6 games in 3 years, you failed. And I could see a lot more of that happening potentially in Norfolk and in Dover than the success that we saw with Coach Prime or Eddie Robinson Jr. or, some of the more Eddie George, prominent HBCU coaches that went from, the sidelines to a head coaching gig. And I'm not quite sure that just because you got Michael Vick in Norfolk or Deshaun Jackson in Dover, that it's going to make a dramatically significant difference when you still got to beat North Carolina Central. All right, Morgan's going to be tough. Howard's going to be tough. You know what I'm saying?
Don't forget about Berry.
Well, that's the gold standard right there now. Everybody going to have to elevate that program to beat him. So I will go on the record as saying Michael Vick will not beat Chennis Berry. Okay, let's put that out there right now. He's not walking into the league and beating Chennis Berry. It's not happening. All right, we've seen that already, dog.
And Trey Oliver is a very open coach. So I can only imagine when MEAC Media Day, Football Media Day get here, Trey Oliver is very open with his words and very, very blunt.
Yes. And a damn good coach too.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily cool with the way that North Carolina Central has lost its class in terms of the way that they handle things. It was it was one thing to be an outstanding athletic institution, but it's another thing when you have outstanding athletics coupled with classy people. The class level of North Carolina State amongst their fan base has dropped dramatically. But Trey Oliver going to have his team in position every year to win a championship, and he don't care. He beat Prime. Let's be clear about that.
Mark, let me ask you something. I got about 3 to 4 minutes before I go to break. I had the pleasure of being able to call the Bayou Classic with you this year, and you had an opportunity to look at Terrence Graves and this Southern team who won a SWAC Western Division title and went on to play Jackson State in the SWAC championship. Coming into year 2 under Terrence Graves and what you saw, what did you take away from seeing Southern yourself at the Bayou Classic as a football team under Terrence Graves?
That's a great question because I left there thinking that this is a guy that's still, even in his first year last year, and is building the program in the likeness of what he likes, right? What he wants it to be. And I think he's done a great job with that. And I think that I like the fact that he's a grinder. I like the fact that he does well. Southern's name and brand and reputation is going to always give you an opportunity to get elite caliber athletes. So you put a grinder with that reputation, and I think there's a foundation of stability that is there inside that program. If the athletic administrators and the boosters who have unrealistic expectations all the time don't get so caught in their craziness that they won't let Coach Graves go ahead and build it, because you get to the SWAC championship game, and let's say they go back to the SWAC championship and lose again, then the whisperers start coming out.
Oh.
But remember, your season ends in the championship game, and I think there's got to be some realistic expectation on what success is and sustainability. And sometimes I think Jaguar Nation can inhibit the long-term stability because they caught up in the here and now, and maybe next season won't be as great as last season was, but then you got 2 more years down the road where you can do something big. So I like where Southern is right now. I know that it's one of the more demanding jobs in HBCU football. It is a pressure cooker. The standard is the standard, and it's a very high standard. But I like Coach Graves. I think you can feel good about Coach Graves, and he is committed to the program. This ain't no stepping stone to him. He wants to be great. He wants to be remembered with Coach Mumford, Pete, Marino Cassim, the whole bit. So let's give him a shot. I mean, he got this SWAC championship game in this new world order. And give the man a shot. I mean, the thing the old school has to understand, and this is what bugs me, and I'm framing it in a Southern context and channel my Rick Pitino side. Pete Richardson is not walking through the door on the sidelines no more, ladies and gentlemen.
He calling the games,
not
though.
Happening. He's calling the games, and he earned the right to be like Saban, okay? Let him be Southern's Nick Saban on the radio, okay? And let's find the new guy. And as we saw at least at year 1, Terrace Graves is no Kalen DeBoer. That's all I'm saying.
This is true. My man, Mark Gray. Mark, I appreciate you coming on with me, man. Listen, it has been a hell of a we got to rock and roll. It's almost like once we get started, it ain't no stopping us.
Yeah. So let's talk some basketball down the line, because I think this is going to be a real interesting stretch drive in every conference. I'm not quite sure that there's one overwhelmingly dominant HBCU team who can say that they are the elite of the elite, but that just makes it so much better because you got so many teams, and when we get to March, it's going to be crazy in the MEAC and the SWAC, and I will be on the call for the CIAA semifinals and finals at the very least when we get down to that fun part. So we'll talk more about that as we get closer to the end of the regular season.
What I do, man, bring you on next week, and we'll talk some basketball then. We'll jump into that side of things.
Yes, sir, because I ain't got no reason to watch football in D.C. no more after what happened over the weekend. But I want to say this. Hey, if you want to back Rouge, thank God for Jaden Daniels. And I'm glad the organization listened to me and picked him. It was a great season, and I love the fact that that's the dude that I think can be a quarterback in D.C. for the next 15 years and give me 2 more trophies.
I hope he brings that excitement back to the city, man. This time with a trophy. Man, Mark, appreciate you for coming on this morning, man. As always, thank you.
Hey, no worries, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, my man, Mark Gray. Let's get ready to take a break, guys. We're going to get ready to close things out. Stay tuned. We'll be back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500 plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy, no pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket. And his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver Hayes makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
It's
pass.
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable, Michael Hayes. 3rd down. And 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing. Nice catch made.
The receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
Backfield. Plenty of time for Levy across the middle. Has his man at the 15. You know, I don't know if you want to break the spirit of Terrence Levy or not. Here he wings one wide open down the middle and a one-handed grab made.
The way. 3rd down in 4. And here's Lewis off the catch. Lewis still on his feet. And Lewis is streaking down the sideline. Touchdown. So they move back 5 yards. Levy on 3rd down. Looking down the sideline.
All right, we are back, man. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Glad to have you guys with us as I get ready to close things out. Of course, my man Mike, I don't want him to clock me upside my head. So you know what? I'm going to tell you. With all the hard work that's been put in, first of all, let's start with where we started at in the very beginning, radio. Good morning to all my people out there in radio land listening across the Baton Rouge capital city area on 107.3. I am just honored to have you guys because guess what? You're still sticking with us traditionally on radio. Turn us up each and every Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. I appreciate you guys who are listening to us on radio. Now let's take it to the other side, right? For our people who go back and listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as on our YouTube. And if you're not doing it, go listen to it. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. And we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube live right now. So if you hear my voice, you say, you know, I want to see what this Perry White looks like. What this fella look like? Just go over to our YouTube channel. I'm sitting right here. You can see me. Then do something for me once you look at me. Hit that subscribe button. You'll make Mike and I very happy. What Shannon Sharp say? You're going to make Ocho cry if you don't. You're going to make Mike cry if you don't hit that subscribe button. So that subscribe button should go through the roof. Don't nobody want to have Mike crying, but you can go follow us on all of those Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. That's what I sounded like for a second, didn't it? Yeah. Also follow us on social media, X and Instagram, Jaguar Journal _. Go hit that follow button. We're on both of those, and Facebook. You know what? That's what the young folks, that's when the girls say they know you. Oh, you on Facebook? That's my grandma on Facebook. But they want to, can I get your Instagram? Mike, you getting their Instagrams? See, yeah, he's shaking his head. Yeah, you ask her, you on Facebook? No, my grandma on Facebook. Well, I'm nowhere near your grandmother's age, okay? But I like Facebook. Facebook is very interactive to me. I'm one of the few, not even one of the few. Y'all keep Facebook alive, honestly. And I like Facebook for marketing purposes for this show, as well as what I do with my Own the Yard network. Facebook works very well. Be sure to go follow our Linktree and all of those social media outlets in the description to see all of our platforms at once. If you go to any one of those that we're on, X, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, you will see our Linktree. You click on that instead of you having to search all over the place. Click that one thing, and it's going to take you to a page that's going to open the door to every single last one of those. So there you go. I just gave you the cheat code if you didn't know. That's the cheat code. All right, basketball today. Of course, I didn't get much into basketball and get into it because I want to thank my man Safi Raul coming on, assistant band director at Southern University, performing at SoFi Stadium today in Los Angeles, California, along with UAPB, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, North Carolina A&T, as well as Hampton University, all out in the West Coast. And then I want to thank my man Mark Gray talking to us, man, having great conversation. And then Southern taking on Alcorn today. And then Jackson State men on Monday. That's what we got going on. How long do I have, Mike? About 2 minutes. So, no, I didn't get a chance to get into the games today. And because I didn't, I won't. I'll just catch y'all next week when I'm able to get down into because, look, and I'm going to open up basketball as far as I can open it up. Then I'm going to throw some football in there because National Signing Day is next week as well. That's what y'all been waiting for, ain't it? Perry, who is that defensive tackle? I saw we signed that quarterback from junior college. They said he used to be a 3-star. Perry, who is that offensive lineman? I'm reaching out to Coach Graves this week to see if we can get him on. And I want to have that conversation with Coach Graves and these guys that him and his staff have gone out. And whoever else decides to sign that dotted line and we throw the bag at for National Sign Day because we know that's what it's all about today. I got to give them something. Some Chick-fil-A, a bag full of quarters, something. They got to get something. That's what they want. They want something. It go beyond the scholarship. But I'll try to get with Coach Graves as well as National Signing Day is this upcoming week. Super Bowl is this upcoming week. A lot of things will be going on along with basketball. Southern taking on Alcorn State today, men and women. Southern men will be taking on Jackson State on Monday. What I got, Mike? I'm at 1 minute, so you guys make sure. And they both at home. Get to the Mini Dome today, and for sure be at the Mini Dome on Monday. I'll be in there loud and proud and talking my trash. Talking my trash on Monday because you know who come in town. Jay is who? I hope to keep it that way. I hope it remains that way. But nonetheless, man, I love you guys, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in this morning. As always, it is a pleasure. I appreciate you guys. Remember, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Follow us on our X and Instagram, Jaguar Journal _ as well as Facebook. Remember, that link tree will give you the link to every single thing so you won't have a problem. Mike, you got something before we get out of here?
Yeah, so right before, that link tree is going to give you all the social medias like Perry just said, from Spotify to Apple Podcasts to even the Talk 107.3 website. Also, I did put on there On the Yard Network, so if you want to see Perry's work on there. Also, if you want to go on Go Jag Sports, put it on there also. And if you want to contact me or Perry, I'll put on the very bottom. Just let us know, and then I'll put everything on there for you guys.
You gonna have to take that Go Jag. They're gonna have to pay us now. We helping out a little bit too much. I don't know if that partnership there yet, Mike. So we might need to talk to them about that partnership. Southern Athletics, Roman Banks, Rodney. Hey, we want to. You see? Hey, we here, baby. We opening it up. We can draw some attention to you. Yeah, we're gonna take that off now. Let me conversate with them, Mike, before we just get in, because if the people want something, they can go to ESPN or they can go to Go Jag Sports themselves until we have that conversation. I'm just joking. Love you guys, man. Y'all know I love Southern. My man Mark Gray, my man Safi. Thank you guys for tuning in this morning. I'm about to get out of here. Mike about to get out of here, man. Hope you guys have a great weekend. See you next week at the same time, same place, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. because always it's the Jaguar Journal. What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.